Hi, hello students. Welcome to Indian Tech Guru for you. Let us move on to the next topic. The next topic is floating point arithmetic operations. Floating point arithmetic operations. In the previous classes, we discussed fixed point arithmetic operations. We have seen how to perform the subtraction, addition, multiplication, as well as the division using different algorithms. So now it is time to perform the arithmetic operations for the floating point numbers. So in general high level language programming, we are going to use the floating point numbers in addition to the fixed point numbers. So for example, in case of the C language, we have float, double data types which are going to represent the floating point numbers. The fixed point numbers are specified by an integer declaration. So whatever the integer type we are going to define in the high level programming languages. So that is of fixed point representation of numbers. So whereas the floating point numbers are specified by the real declaration statement. So in mathematics we generally call the floating point numbers as real numbers. So in C language we call using the float as well as double data type, and in several other languages in different with different names we are going to represent the floating point numbers. So we need to derive some representation for the floating point numbers and able to perform the arithmetic operations. So a floating point number in computer registers consists of two parts. So a mantissa part and an exponent part. The mantissa is called as M and the exponent is called as E. Then we can represent the floating point number as M into R power E. M into R power E. So this is the standard scientific representation to represent a floating point number, where R is the radix. R is the radix. So radix means to the radix or base, to the base 10, to the base 2, something like that. The mantissa may be a fraction or an integer. So the mantissa value may be a fraction or an integer. However, it is preferable to consider the mantissa as fraction. So because if you convert the fraction into integer, for large numbers, the value may change sometimes. That is why it is better to represent the mantissa as a fraction. So a floating point number should be normalized before performing any of the arithmetic operations, because if the floating point number, whatever the number in between, so it is floating, then definitely it will be a problem. We cannot perform the arithmetic operations properly. So that is why normalization is needed. So what is meant by the normalization is we are going to move the decimal point to the extreme left, and accordingly we are going to change the exponent value. Okay, for example, if there is a number such as 537.25, then this will be normalized like this. Okay, the point will be moved 3 places to the left, and it is represented as 0.53725 multiplied by 10 power 3. So it is this particular number is of the form m into r power e in the scientific notation, where m is equal to 0.53725 and r is equal to radix is equal to 10 and exponent is equal to 3. So we generally do not specify, need not specify the radix in the processor registers. Radix value need not be specified. So only we need to specify the mantissa as well as the exponent, because generally it is in all the computer system we are going to use the binary numbers to perform the arithmetic operations. The radix is by default 2, so we need not to explicitly specify the radix value. So we need to specify only the mantissa value as well as the exponent value within the registers. That is about how we are going to represent the floating point numbers. After being able to represent the floating point numbers, we need to perform the addition as well as subtraction operations and multiplication and division operations for the floating point arithmetic, floating point numbers. Okay, so to perform these operations, definitely we need to normalize the numbers before actually performing the particular operation. So adding or subtracting two numbers so requires the alignment of the radix point, since the exponent parts must be made equal before adding or subtracting the mantisas. So for example, consider these two numbers 0.5372400 into 10 square. This is the first number, and we need to add this number with 0.1580000 into 10 power minus 1. However, if you observe here, the exponents are not equal. So because the exponents are not equal, we cannot perform the addition directly. We need to perform the normalization first, and then we are going to add the content. So we need to make sure that the exponents are equal. So to make sure that the exponents are equal, what you are going to do is, so you will keep the first number as it is, and we are going to normalize the second number until unless we get the exponent value as 2. So what we did, we have moved the value 158 to the right side continuously and incremented the exponent value. Then automatically we are going to get this particular number will be converted into 0.0001580. So then we are going to get the exponent value as 2. Because now these two exponents are equal, now we can perform the addition. So after performing the addition, we got 0.5373980 into 10 power 2. However, there is a problem of adding the normalized numbers also. So what is that problem is, sometimes we may get the overflow digit. For example, assume that we are adding 0.5372400 into 10 power 2 plus 0.5001580 into 10 power 2. So because here there is a 5 and here also there is a 5, so 5 plus 5 becomes 10. So here now the overflow will occur. Okay, overflow will occur. So if you add these two values 0, 8, 459, 213, 7, 3, 5, 5, 5, 10. So the result will be 1.0373980. So now an overflow has occurred. So to correct, to make sure that once again the result is normalized, what you need to do, an overflow can be corrected easily by shifting the sum, once to the right and incrementing the exponent value. That is, it will be converted as 0.103733980 and just increment the exponent value into 10 cube. Then automatically it will be once again normalized. So whenever the addition operation is performed, then there is a possibility of occurrence of overflow. So if overflow has occurred, then we need to once again normalize the result by moving by shifting the sum once to the right and incrementing the exponent value. So this is about the addition operation, how we are going to perform the addition operation. Similarly, we can perform the subtraction operation also. So for example, when two numbers are subtracted, the result may contain more significant zeros as shown in the following example. So for example, assume the subtraction of these numbers 0.56780 into 10 power 5 minus 0.56430 into 10 power 5. So because the exponents are equal, we can perform the subtraction directly. So if you subtract these values, then we are going to get 0.00350 into 10 power 5. So however, this number is also not normalized. So this type of number is called as having the underflow condition. A floating point number that has a 0 in the most significant bit. 0 in the most significant bit position of the mantissa is said to have an underflow. Okay. So whenever the number is of underflow type, then also you should normalize the number. So how to normalize the underflowed number is just shift the mantissa instead of to the right side. Now we are going to shift the mantissa to the left side. Okay, instead of shifting to the right, Now we are going to shift the mantissa to the left, and instead of incrementing the exponent, decrement the exponent until a non-zero digit appears in the first position. We are going to shift, we are going to make it as 0.350, and we are going to decrement the exponent into 10 cube. So it will be the normalized form of the whatever the result we got after the subtraction. So like this we are going to perform the subtraction of the two numbers. So as far as the multiplication and the division is concerned, so for multiplication and division operations, it will be even easier to perform with the floating point numbers. Floating point multiplication and division do not require an alignment of the mantissas, because we need not to align the mantissas. So the product can be formed by multiplying the two mantissas and adding the exponents. Okay, so just perform the multiplication, with the mantissas, and whenever to calculate the exponents, just add the exponents. Okay, so for example 0.5 into 10 square, okay, into 0.5 into 10 cube. Assume like this. Then if you want to perform the multiplication for these two numbers, then just perform the multiplication of 0.5 into 0.5. So 5 5 is 25, so it will become 2.5, and then just add the exponents into 10 power 5. Okay, so like that we are going to get the result. So not 2.5, 0.25. The result will be 0.25 into 10 power 5. Okay. So for example, if you expand 0.5 into 10 square, it will become 50. 0.5 into 10 cube will become 500. So 50 into 500, we are going to get 25 into 5, 25, 0, 0, 0, 25,000. Okay. So here 0.25 into 10 power 5. So 0.25 into 10 power 5. It will be 25,000. Okay, 25,000. So like this, we are going to normalize the result whenever we need to perform the multiplication operation. So as far as the multiplication is concerned, because there is no requirement of the alignment of the mantissas, it will be easier, and we can use the same multiplication algorithm which we have used for the signed magnitude representation. Similarly, for division also, division is accomplished by dividing the mantissas and subtracting the exponents. So if at all division is required, then we are going to perform the division for the mantissas, and we are going to subtract the exponents. For example, in the numerator there is 10 power 5, and in the denominator there is 10 cube. Then how we are going to get the result? 10 power 5 minus 3, that is equal to 10 square. So just we are going to subtract the exponents, then we are going to get the correct result as far as the division is concerned. Okay. So as far as the multiplication and division is concerned, the operations performed with the mantissas are the same as the fixed point numbers which we have seen previously. We have seen algorithms for multiplication and division using the signed magnitude representation. So both the fixed point as well as floating point arithmetic can share the same registers as well as the circuits. Okay. So the operations performed with the exponents are compare and increment for aligning the mantissas, and the subtract for multiplication and division, and decrement to normalize the result. So these operations are performed in addition to the whatever the fixed point operations we are going to perform previously. In addition to that, so we are going to compare and increment the values of the mantissas for aligning the mantissas. So and perform the subtraction for multiplication and division, and decrement to normalize the result. So these operations we will see in the flow chart coming up. So first of all, we need to know the registers, register organization for register configuration for floating point arithmetic operations. So we know the register configuration for fixed point arithmetic, that is addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. So the registers that are required for floating point arithmetic operations will be similar. However, there is a slight difference. What is the difference? We need to know. Okay. So we need a BR register. BR register, here the BR register is divided into three different parts. BS is going to represent the sign bit of B register, and B will represent the B register, and small b is going to represent the exponent of BR register. Okay, so capital B is going to represent the mantissa of BR register. Okay, BS will represent the sign bit of BR register, and B is going to represent the mantissa of BR register, and small b will represent the exponent of the BR register. So as usual, we are going to use a parallel adder and comparator, and there will be as usual the expansion bit which is going to store the carry out. And as far as the A bit is concerned, AC register is concerned, so as usual AS will represent the sign bit of A register. AS is going to represent the sign bit of AS register, and the most significant bit of A register has a special significance because based on the value of A1, we need to determine whether the result has been normalized or not normalized. If A1 is equal to 1, then the result is already normalized. If A1 is equal to 0, then the result need to be normalized. So like that, we are going to have a special significance for A1. A1 is the most significant bit of A register. So A is the register which is going to contain the mantissa of A register AC, and small a is going to represent the exponent of register AC. Okay. So similarly, QS is the sign bit of Q register. Q is the register which is going to contain the mantissa of QR register, and small q will represent the exponent of QR register. Okay. So this is the register organization. Registers required for floating point arithmetic operations. So we need to know what are the different registers that are needed for to represent the floating point arithmetic. So because using these registers only, we are going to carry out the different operations regarding the floating point arithmetic operations. Now it is time to see how the addition and subtraction as well as multiplication and division operations are carried out. So using the floating point numbers. So first of all, let us see the flowchart for addition as well as subtraction. So during the addition or subtraction, the two floating point operands are in AC register and BR register. So we have seen how we have bifurcated the AC as well as BR. The sum or difference is formed in AC, the final result. So if it is addition, the addition of two numbers. If it is subtraction, the subtraction of two numbers will be stored finally in AC register. The algorithm can be divided into 4 consecutive parts. So what are these parts? First of all, check for zeros. So whether AC value or BR value, if any of these values are zeros, check for it, and then perform the alignment of the mantisas. So just align the mantisas and then perform addition or subtraction of the mantisas. So this part we have already seen previously. Okay, so this is nothing but the flow chart for signed magnitude addition and subtraction, which we have seen in the previous classes. Okay, so we have to substitute that particular flow chart here, and finally normalize the result. We need to normalize the result. So what are the additional steps needed here? We need to check for zeros, we need to align the mantisas, and we need to normalize the result. Now let us see the flow chart for performing the addition and subtraction. So this is the flow chart for performing the addition and subtraction of floating point numbers. So initially we are going to check whether the BR value is 0. The algorithm starts here. So initially we are going to check whether the BR value is 0 or not. If the BR value is 0, then stop the execution, and if the BR value is not equal to 0, then check the AC value, whether AC value is 0 or not. So if the AC value is 0, because AC contains the result, just move the content of BR to AC. Okay. So then because we need to determine the sign bit. So just check for it if it is an add operation or subtraction operation. So if it is add operation, then no need to change the sign bit. If it is a subtraction operation, then change the sign bit to the complement of A's sign bit. Okay, so change the sign bit to the complement of A's sign bit. So that we need to perform. Okay, so these are the special cases. What are the special cases? You need to check whether BR is equal to 0 or AC is equal to 0, and then perform accordingly. So if both are not equal to 0, then so we need to perform the step number 1. Step number 1 is aligning the mantisas. So already we discussed how to align the mantisas. So only we need to perform the addition or subtraction whenever the exponents are equal. So this is the comparison operation. A colon B is the comparison operation. So if A is equal to B, then perform the addition or subtraction. Okay. So if A is not equal to B, then A may be less than B, or A may be greater than B. If A is less than B, then what you need to do? You need to shift right the A value. We need to shift right the A value, and then add one value to exponent. Okay, these two operations need to be performed. If A is greater than B, then we need to shift right the magnitude of BR register, and then increment the B value. So you have to repeat these steps until unless A is equal to B. Okay. So this is the part for mantissa addition or subtraction, which we have already discussed previously. So we need not to repeat these statements. So this is the previous algorithm which we have discussed in the previous classes. Go through those classes. Okay. So however, we need to normalize the output. Okay. So when we need to normalize the output, whenever the A1 bit is equal to 1, then no normalization is needed, because already already there is a 1. It is already normalized. However, if A1, that is the most significant bit of A, is equal to 0, then you need to perform the normalization. Okay. So how you are going to perform the normalization? Shift left A and decrement the exponent value. So this step is repeated. This step is repeated until unless a1 becomes 1. So whenever a1 becomes 1, then stop the execution of the flowchart. So this is the normalization part needed in addition to addition or subtraction operation. So in addition to that, if a value is completely 0, if a value is completely 0, so then what does it mean? It means that we got the after subtraction we got the a value as 0, that is all zeros. Then just assign 0 to the AC register and then stop the execution. Okay, the result will be 0. For example, if you consider 10 minus 10, then the result will be 0. Okay, so AC contains the zeros, all zeros, and then stop execution. So one more normalization we need is so based on the E bit, whenever overflow occurs. So if there is no overflow, when we are going to perform the addition operation, if there is no overflow, then E will be 0. Directly stop the execution. However, if there is an overflow, then E will be 1. So whenever E will be 1, then what you need to do? So you need to perform the normalization. So what normalization you need to perform? Shift right the A register, shift right the A register and assign E value to A1, that is most significant bit of A register. Okay, and then increment the exponent value. So these three types of normalizations we need to perform. So in addition to performing the Mantissa addition or subtraction. So like that we are going to perform the addition as well as the subtraction operations of the floating point arithmetic operations. Now if you go through the multiplication algorithm, so then what you need to perform. So as far as the multiplication algorithm is concerned, check for zeros in the registers. So if at all any one register is 0, then the multiplication result will also be 0. And we need to add the exponents and perform the multiplication operation of the mantissas. So this algorithm already we have seen in the previous classes. That is the signed magnitude multiplication algorithm. Using this algorithm, we are going to perform the multiplication of the mantissa values and then normalize the product. So these three operations we need to perform in this particular floating point arithmetic specially. Okay, so let us see the flow chart for performing the multiplication operation and how to do these three steps. So initially the multiplicand will be in BR register and the multiplier will be in QR register. So as in the signed magnitude multiplication algorithm. So if at all the BR value is equal to 0, the multiplicand value is equal to 0, then just make the AC register assigned to 0 and stop the execution. Similarly, if at all the QR value, that is the multiplier value, is 0, then also so make the AC value to 0 and stop the execution. So in both these cases the result will be 0 because any number multiplied by 0 will result in 0. So if both are not equal to 0, so both BR value as well as QR value not equal to 0, then what we need to do, we need to add the exponent values. So then we need to add the exponent values. How we are going to add the exponent values? Initially the exponent of A should contain the result. So the exponent of A, Q value will be moved to the exponent of A. Then we are going to perform A assignment A plus B, which is equivalent to A assignment Q plus B. Okay, so we are going to add the exponent of Q register, exponent of B register. Okay, so like this we are going to perform. So however, after adding, now the A will contain the actual exponent value. However, if at all some bias operation has been carried out beforehand, so biasing we have already seen, we may move the content of the mantissa and increment or decrement the exponent value. If at all such operation is carried out, then we are going to decrement the bias value from A. Okay, So A assignment, A minus bias. So after that, whatever the algorithm we have seen previously for multiplying the two numbers of signed magnitude representation, just apply that particular algorithm. So after applying that particular algorithm, then we are going to perform the normalization. Perform the normalization for the result, whatever the result we got. So the result will be in AQ. The result will be in the combination of AQ. So if at all the most significant bit of A1 is equal to 0, then we need to perform the normalization. If it is equal to 1, then no normalization is needed. Already the output, the product is in normalized form. So if it is equal to 0, then perform the normalization. What normalization we are going to perform? So shift A as well as Q registers and decrement the A value, that is exponent of A. Okay. So shift registers A and Q and decrement the A value. So like this we are going to perform the normalization. So once you perform the normalization, the final result, the final output product will be in the normalized form. So like this we are going to perform the multiplication operation of the floating point numbers. So here you need to remember that so the multiplication algorithm is same for both the fixed point as well as the floating point algorithms. However, additionally here what you need to do, you need to perform some additional operations that you need to remember. Okay. And finally, to perform the floating point arithmetic operations division operation, the division algorithm can be subdivided into 5 parts. So what are they? Initially check for the zero values in the registers, and then step number 2, initialize registers and evaluate the sign. Okay, so initialize the registers and evaluate the sign of the registers. So third step is align the dividend, and fourth step is subtract the exponents, and finally divide the matrices. So as far as the divide the matrices is concerned, so we have already discussed about the signed magnitude division algorithm. So just we are going to apply this algorithm here for the matrices. So in addition to that, we need to perform these 4 steps as far as the division algorithm is concerned. So let us go through the flowchart for the division algorithm. First of all, the divisor will be in the register BR register, and the dividend will be in AC register. So if at all the BR value is 0, then what it represents? So it represents the divide by 0 error, because BR is the divisor, so it represents the divide by 0 error. So we cannot proceed because divide by 0 error has occurred. If BR is not equal to 0, then check for the AC value, the dividend value. So if at all AC is 0, then make the QR value to 0. So that is the final output as 0, because 0 by anything is equal to 0, and stop the execution. So if AC is also not equal to 0, then perform the actual operations. Okay, after that, if both are not equal to 0, then determine the sign of the quotient QS. So how could we determine the sign of the quotient QS? So by performing the exclusive OR operation for both AS as well as the BS, we are going to get QS value. So assign Q value initially to 0, and then assign sequence counter value to n-1 as usual. Okay. So before actually performing the division operation, so we need to check the condition as we have checked in case of the division algorithm which we have seen previously. So for that purpose, perform A minus B. So accordingly, we are going to get the E value. So if E value is equal to 0, then A is less than B. It will be in the proper way to perform the division operation. So that's why once again restore the value of the original value by performing A plus B. Here we performed A minus B. Here perform A plus B and restore the value. Okay. So however, if A is greater than or equal to B, if A is greater than or equal to B, so then restore its original value as well as shift right A, shift right A register, and then increment the exponent value. Okay. So these steps we have already seen in the previous algorithm also. So whenever A is greater than B, so perform these two steps, and whenever A is less than B, perform this step. We have already seen. So the one additional step here is increment the exponent value, A assignment A plus 1. So because this is floating point representation, we need to increment the exponent value. Okay. So this is the only additional step we have seen here. So after that, now we need to subtract the exponents. So that is perform A minus B. So the subtraction is carried out using the 2's complement representation. So that is A plus B bar plus 1. So which is equivalent to A minus B. Okay. So the exponents have been subtracted. So however, if at all some bias has been done, biasing means that is normalizing the floating point numbers before actually performing the division operation. If that is done, then we need to add the bias value to A. Okay. So if that is not done, then there is no need to add the bias value. So finally, we are going to move the final exponent value to quotient Q. So Q represents the exponent of quotient. Okay. So that's why we are going to move the A value to Q value, and finally we are going to perform divide operation of the magnitudes of the mantisas. So as per the division algorithm we have seen in the previous classes. Okay. And then stop the flow of execution. So here the additional operations we performed for the division algorithm are these operations. Okay. So this particular operation and this particular operation, and these normalization operations. Okay. So like this we are going to perform the floating point division operation, that is performing the division operation for floating point numbers. Okay. If you want to map the sequence of steps for this particular flow chart, so initially we are going to check for the zeros. Step number 1, check for zeros. So here we have checked for zeros in this place of the algorithm. And then step number 2, initialize registers and evaluate the sign. So this part, step number 2, initialize registers. We have initialized 0 to Q register and n-1 value to sequence counter. Initialize registers and evaluate the sign, and we have evaluated the sign bit of the quotient QS. Okay. So this is that particular step. So and then step number 3 is align the dividend. So in this step we are going to align the dividend based on the values of A and B. So if A is greater than B, then perform the alignment operation. If A is less than B, then restore the original value of A. Okay. So after that, subtract the exponents. So in this part, subtract the exponents. Okay, and assign the final value to the exponent Q. Okay, exponent of the register Q. And the fifth step is divide the mantisas. Divide. This is third one. This is fourth one. This is fifth one. Divide the mantisas. Okay. So these are the 5 steps we have seen. This step already we have implemented previously using the sign magnitude division algorithm, and all the remaining 4 steps, this flow chart represents all the remaining 4 steps. Okay. So these are the basic things we are going to perform in case of the floating point arithmetic. So as far as the algorithms are concerned, the basic orientation is same. That is, we are going to use for addition and subtraction the basic algorithm which we have seen for the signed magnitude addition and subtraction for the fixed point notation. In addition to that, some more steps will be there because we are performing the addition and subtraction for the floating point numbers. Similarly, as far as the multiplication is concerned, we are going to perform some more additional steps. As far as the division is concerned, we are going to perform some more additional steps. So the basic logic is same. However, we need to be careful whenever we are going to perform the floating point arithmetic operations, because we need to consider here the mantissa as well as the exponent. So two parameters we need to consider. Accordingly, we are going to implement the algorithms and perform the floating point arithmetic operations. So this is the complete description, elaborate discussion regarding the floating point arithmetic operations. Hope you understand the logic. That's all for now.